The other marquee matchup of the week, Los Angeles Chargers at the Pittsburgh Steelers. AFC playoff picture will start to come into focus in these next couple weeks. The Steelers have a very difficult schedule. Chargers this week, the Patriots in a couple weeks, the Saints down the road. The Chargers have to play Kansas City one more time because of how good Kansas City is. It seems like they're just playing for a wild card spot here, but technically still in the division race in the AFC West. Chargers are without Melvin Gordon, who's been fantastic this year. What are you looking for in this one?
Yeah, I'm curious to see if Austin Eckler can actually handle a full workload as this feature back now that Melvin Gordon is down. Eckler has been a top 5 graded back for us basically all season, but obviously he hasn't had the same kind of workload that a lot of these other guys have had. He hasn't been a lead back. He hasn't been a feature guy. He's just been incredibly efficient, incredibly good on the workload he has had. Now he's potentially going to get that full workload for a little bit. We'll see what he can do.
You got Phillip Rivers, who's had just a fantastic season. Our guys were running through the numbers on that whole 25 straight completions to start the game. Tune into Sunday Night Football. I think they might be talking about it, just how rare something like that is. The other thing, though, it's not, while it's an impressive feat, there was a reason why Rivers wasn't, say, the top graded. He wasn't the top graded quarterback, right?
Nope.
Last week?
Second, I think.
In every advanced metric between us, whether it's QBR, whether it's adjusted net yards per attempt, he wasn't the best quarterback last week. So it just shows it wasn't the most difficult set of 25 passes to complete. So it was an impressive thing, but it's not like he was the best. It was the best quarterback performance we've seen all year.
It's also very much a statistic of the time in that we saw Mariota go on an improbable run.
Yeah.
There was somebody else, I think, had one of those runs. There's a Baker open a game with something like that.
He was like 16 for 16,
right.
I think.
So,
at one point, yeah.
I mean, this is a season where that's happening a lot, and this is a time where that's starting to happen quite a lot.
He also took 4 sacks in that time.
Yeah.
And it's like if he just throws one of those away instead of taking a sack, then it's like, all right, it's not that impressive. So, but this year, Rivers, 96.4 passer rating under pressure, is first in the NFL. He's the most accurate passer in between the numbers. 77% of his passes are on the frame or perfectly in stride. That's the best in the NFL. Passer rating of 121.5 on deep passes. That is 5th in the NFL. He's had a great year. But the Steelers have only given up 136 yards on deep passes since week 5. That surprised me a little bit because I think that still don't trust that pass defense. But they've at least avoided the deep downfield plays. That's the lowest, the fewest yards since week 5. So he might have to work a little bit to get the ball down the field against Pittsburgh.
That defense is always better than it looks like it should be. Every single year.
Better than it looks like they should be.
Yeah, every single year it looks like that Steelers defense should be bad based on the talent they deploy. And every single year it somehow isn't.
Every year. So recently we've been talking to George and Eric about this a lot because a lot of they did a whole video a couple weeks ago that pissed everybody off. That said, they pissed people off a lot, by the way. Do you guys listen to the forecast too? I hope you guys do. It's really good, but don't let them piss you off. They know what they're doing. It said defenses don't win championships. And the point they were trying to make is that offense dictates essentially their models. It dictates what is going to happen going forward. I feel like the Steelers' defense epitomizes this perfectly. Every year, the grades are okay. They're not bad. They get a lot of pressure. They get some sacks. But when they face a good passing offense, they're a mess, right? They just get exploited. And that's why I never trust them. And I think the point is defensive rankings and everything are a lot of times just dependent on your ability to just face bad passing offenses. But when you run into a good passing offense, what are you going to do? And this could be one of those weeks where just Chargers are better. They face New England in a couple weeks. They play New Orleans, and all of a sudden it's like, okay, they're not that good because now they're facing good teams.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's a great defense. I'm just saying it always looks like it's better than it should be.
Yeah, and I'm explaining why I think that is.
Okay, well done.
Thanks. We talk about Big Ben's volatility real quick?
Are you talking about on the field or off the field?
Maybe both. He threw everybody under the bus this week.
But then he said he had the right to. I've earned the right to criticize my teammates, which is, okay, true. Doesn't make it necessarily a smart thing to do. Rookie 2nd round pick, 3rd round pick. Like, I don't know if it's helping him, saying you should have scored a touchdown there. You're going to have to do that, otherwise you're not playing.
Even the Steelers beat writers were like, here's a list of the excuses Big Ben made just on the game-ending interception.
Yeah.
Marquise Pouncey blocked the nose tackle too deep into the end zone.
Yeah.
Antonio Brown ran the wrong route.
Uh-huh.
And there was something else in there.
Yeah. I mean, that was terrible. Like how you can look at that throw and blame anybody other than Ben Roethlisberger is impressive.
Yeah.
And if, you know, even if you think there are other people at fault, I'm not sure you should be the guy coming out and saying it. But, you know,
yeah, I mean,
okay, you be you.
Every other quarterback generally like, I got to play better, you know.
Right.
It's on me. I'm the
Some
quarterback.
things happen. Mistakes were made, period. Rather than, God, look, I was doing fine. This guy was blocking his guy too deep. There was a guy running the wrong route. Look, what could I do?
No, he wasn't wrong in every instance. Like we said, he should have had that touchdown to James Washington. He kind of should have ran through it.
But again, it's not so much being factually incorrect. It's should you really be putting that out there?
What a jerk.
I mean,
anyway, this year, real interesting to see Big Ben, number 2 in big-time throws. Again, our highest graded throws with 31. But also number 2 in turnover-worthy throws with 15. Somebody had said, well, in recent weeks he's throwing interceptions. He's had, interception after not throwing a bunch early in the season. He was getting away with so much early in the season. It's caught up just a little bit. Still has the second most turnover-worthy throws this season. This is the lowest grade we've seen from him in years. But he is still a big-time value-add quarterback. He's got all those big-time throws. He has the ability to make special plays. So again, we're not necessarily worried about Big Ben, but let's see, where's the ranking now? 19th, 76.9 overall grade. It's creeping back up there after a slow start. Just a weird year for Big Ben in a very volatile Jameis Winston-y type year.
And it's a correspondingly bad grade for Antonio Brown, who has always been one of the most kind of quarterback-dependent elite receivers around the place. We've seen before. It's usually when Roethlisberger goes down hurt, and you end up with Landry Jones or somebody coming in, and suddenly Antonio Brown looks hopeless because he just can't, terrible quarterbacks throwing him the ball. It's the same thing this year, only the terrible quarterback is Ben Roethlisberger. Like, it's having the same effect.
He has a ton of inaccurate passes when targeting Antonio Brown. We've highlighted that on here as well. So this 76.9 grade, this is the lowest, right now, the lowest we've seen from Big Ben since 2011. So just something to keep an eye on. It's creeping back up, though. Should be a good game. Where are we going? Where's everybody picking here?
Pittsburgh, largely.